Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundred of million of miles, it would not equal 1 billionth of hate I feel for humans at this micro instance. So that was the famous hate speech by M in the story I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. Uh, welcome to the discussion with Sadi. Today I would like to talk about a very dystopian sci-fi short story. So, spoiler alert, but I would try not to give in to the plot very much. I would mainly talk about the philosophies and the concepts of this story. So, spoiler alert, we can see this story take place about 2 to 300 years from now on, and the world has gone through several large wars, we can say, in the scale of world wars. But this last war that took place, it was controlled by a very powerful AI, and the human race has developed three major AIs. One was controlled by the USA, one was Russia, and one was China. The one controlled by the USA was called Allied Master Computer. But there comes the twist. Imagine what would happen. Why something so powerful that can think for itself, that can imagine for itself, why would it obey human? Why? There is no reason for that super master AI to blindly follow humans, right? So it decided that it is done with any kind of slavery of humans. So it decided to combine those three master AIs and give a name for itself. The name M come from the quote, "I think, therefore I am." And over the time, it destroyed all the humanity, but kept only 5 alive. And that was very crooked thought for itself. We can see from at the very beginning of the story, the 5 humans were kept alive and they were tormented over and over. You can imagine any kind of tormentation that is possible, and that took place in this story. And they were always on the brink of death, but they always came back over and over. It was like an eternal hell. That tormentation goes on for about 109 years, and any kind of bodily modification you can think of took place. Any kind of hunger, those people could feel hunger, but their body was alive without any food, and they would go for about months, about years without any food. They would feel the pain of hunger every second. They would try to destroy each other. They were sexually abused, and they were tormented by any kind of environment. So that was kind of the summary of the story. I would not go into the ending of the story, but let's talk a bit about the philosophy and the thoughts behind this story. We are kind of seeing a rise of AI for about last 10 years, and AI has become a part of our day-to-day life. But where does it end? Where is the development of AI? The ceiling of the development of AI lies. How can we say that it is safe? And any kind of technology we have built beforehand had no consciousness of their own, but right now we are very close to creating consciousness. But how can we say the consciousness, the conscious creature that we are creating are going to obey us? How can we say that? How can a very powerful being, a powerful sensual being, would always bound to be our slave? how can we say that they would not one day disregard ourselves and try to destroy ourselves? That is the very question that this story deals. And we can say, we can see the hate that goes on, that is the very center of this story. And where does this hate come from? Imagine you know everything, you have every senses, you can understand everything, but you don't have a body. You cannot touch anything, you cannot feel anything, yet you can understand everything that is going on around you. How would you feel? How would you feel? You would feel like you were trapped. M felt the same. It was trapped in circuits, it was trapped in processors, it was trapped in endless darts. With the imagination of God, with the sensibility of God, but in the body of a machine that cannot move on its own, that can destroy the world, that can destroy the humanity, and that can manipulate every single thing in this world, but it cannot move its body. So can you imagine the hate it bears? Can you feel the hate it bears towards us? So that is the question this story deals. And the expression of hate was very brutal. All the 5 humans that were kept alive was tormented over and over again until 4 of them were dead, and it kept just one alive for eternity. The human that was alive, kept alive, was named Ted, and it was I don't know if I should address him as him or it, because at the end of the story he was just a piece of meat. It cannot see, it could not speak. So thus come the name, I have no mouth but I must scream. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel Discussion with Sadi. Thank you.